Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Boom Boom Room. It's going to be one of my favorite interviews I've ever done.
Yes.
I'm so excited about interviewing this gentleman.
I know.
You know, ladies and gentlemen, the next gentleman we have up is one of the original members and co-founder of one of the greatest rock and roll bands in history.
Mm-hmm.
But what I did not know, Cornell, he was originally born in Lima, Ohio.
Can you believe that?
Born in Lima, Ohio.
Yeah.
And then, his father bounced around, and when it was, I believe he'll correct me if I'm wrong, in the airport industry. So they bounced around, and eventually wound up in Hawthorne, California, which is big in the airport, in the airplane industry and everything. But he went to Hawthorne High School, and where he met a gentleman, and they became friends. And from there, they went on to El Camino College, and formed one of the greatest rock and roll bands in history. So, my next guest is El Jardine, and the band is the Beach Boys.
Yes.
El, how you doing?
Hey, I overheard that little speech. That was really nice.
I could have went on. I could have went on. I said I better cut it short. Oh, I forgot to say, also inducted into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, 1988.
Yep, man, well deserved. Well deserved.
But El,
1888 or
yeah, exactly.
But, all right, 1988.
Yeah.
Gotcha. Okay.
But
that's right. Yeah, that was great.
Wow, geez, oh man. So
How you doing, Boom Boom Boom?
I'm doing good, El. I'm doing good. Thank you. And I was telling Cornell, when he told me we were going to interview, I said, well, El, I do know El Jardine.
Yeah.
I actually had a chance to meet him. He said, what? Real fast. Back in 1989, when I was coming back to fight Hector Camacho, the manager of the Fat Boys, remember the rap group, the Fat Boys?
Yeah.
Right? Well, the Beach Boys and the Fat Boys combined to do a remake of the song Whitebox. So Charlie Steiner had me and Hector Camacho in the opening of the video.
Yeah,
it was great. And so it was great to be with El. I got a chance to meet him, and then it was a lot of fun. It was a lot of fun. And El, did you remember that? Do you remember that video?
Well, I sure do. And then the Fat Boys wanted to go on tour with us, and so. And I said, well, we're going to the UK. We're going over to England. And they said, really? I says, well, how long is the bus ride?
Yeah, baby.
It's really funny. Those guys were like, well, they're funnier in hell. And it was how long is the bus ride? I swear to God, that was an actual question. So, but that's a New York City bunch, and they didn't get around very much, I guess.
No.
But we did a show, I guess, with them. I guess they did open up for us somewhere, didn't they?
I'm sure they did. I'm sure, Fat Boys and the Beach Boys.
Boy, the microphones were really messed up after they got off the stage. A lot of McDonald's.
Yes.
That's for sure.
They were known as the Fat Boys for a reason.
Yeah.
But El, what I did not know, El, you were born in, I say Lima, is it Lima, Ohio? Lima, Ohio. Where I've been to Lima, Ohio.
There.
I've been to Lima. And
I just got an offer to play Lima in September.
Oh, great.
Yeah,
They would love you there for sure.
Early September to my hometown.
Your father was in the airport industry, right? He bounced around. Was it the airport industry or what?
He was a photographer for Lima Locomotive and for the war effort back in World War II. he would photograph the tanks because they made tanks then instead of cars.
Right.
I mean, instead of locomotives, I should say. They were making tanks for the war effort, so he was out there in the field, getting run over by tanks.
I kept saying the airport, but I was wrong. It was tanks.
Yeah, that's a big difference. One flies, one doesn't, man.
Tank, railroad, tank, railroad, airplane, same thing. It's all moving. It's all moving.
But close, but he also was a really good clarinet player.
Yeah, wow.
We met my mother at Toledo, University of Toledo.
Yeah.
In college there.
Yeah. And great university. Very good university, too. Just so.
Yeah.
If anybody's considered going there.
But yeah, we're playing Lima in September.
Very cool.
5th or 6th. Not sure yet.
But now, El,
thanks.
You went to Hawthorne High School.
Yeah.
And that's where you met and befriended and became good friends with Brian Wilson.
Right.
So, and then from there, he introduced you to his brothers. I'm assuming. And did you guys start playing right away, or did it take months, or how did it go about when you guys met? How did you guys start playing together?
Well, I bumped into him on campus while we were at El Camino College, and I said, Brian, we got to start a group. I said, we have to start a musical group, and he said, okay, just like that. And we went into the music room on campus, and that's where we started, right at the college level there.
Wow.
Yeah, and then he introduced me to Carl and Dennis and Mike, and because we needed some voices.
Right.
Now, I wanted to do a folk song. I wanted to do Sloop John B., and Brian wanted to do the Four Freshmen kind of style music. But neither of us got what we wanted because Dennis Wilson brought home the idea of doing a surfing song. Mm-hmm. And that's how it started.
Richard, though, I read, and you just said earlier, but you started with folk song, right? You were a folk singer at first, right?
Yeah, I was hoping to do Sloop, but I got my wish about 4 years later. And we recorded Sloop B.
But, I mean, so now, how many years did you guys tour? I mean, you guys have been continually touring with the.
Well, I guess
for years
into the 80s and 90s. They're still touring.
Yeah.
See, I'm coming out there with my band called the Pet Sounds Band.
Right.
To your area, which of course we're going to play the music from Pet Sounds and all the hits, and but so I mean the band's never stopped touring.
Right.
Yeah.
When did you? What year did you stop touring with them?
2000.
Yeah, and then
I joined Brian in 2006, and then we went on for another 20 years.
Jesus,
yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
I mean, it's been amazing. The songs are eternally youthful and happy and mostly adored by every generation.
Yeah, that's for sure.
Did you have any idea when you guys first got together kind of impact that you would have on the music industry? You were talking about Fat Boys to Neil Young to the Red Hot Chili Peppers. Everybody cites you guys as influences. It's got to just make you feel good on how much you have touched the music industry over the years, Al.
It's been pretty amazing. There's no question. It's all about the songwriting.
Yeah.
What?
The wonderful songs, they stay alive because they're so well written and composed, and it's just it's an American thing. We're almost like a folk group,
right?
Like folk singers in a way.
Now, Al, you were lead singer on this "Help Me Rhonda," correct? 1965, that song came out, if I'm correct.
Yeah.
And you were lead singer on that. Was that your first big hit, or was that you guys had some hits up to that, or is that the one that really broke you guys out?
Oh, we had "I Get Around" before that.
I Get Around, that's right.
Pardon me. Yeah, that was our first number one.
Right.
And we just we've been having top 10 hits for forever.
Yeah.
Now they're recycling. I can't use the Beach Boys name though because I have an injunction against me. Believe it or not, so I have to go out as the Pet Sounds Band. But that kind of works too because there's it's the 60th anniversary of Pet Sounds.
Yeah, and that's a great segue, Al, because it's either Sgt. Pepper's Lonely Hearts Club Band or Pet Sounds, which is known as the greatest album ever. It is an absolute masterpiece from the beginning to end. And to know that music is still out there and you are still paying respect to that album, I think it's going to be something that goes on for even more generations.
Yeah, it's timeless. Like the Beatles. Every once in a while, or you just get lucky. I guess I'm not even sure if that's the right word, but I was lucky to have gone to school with Brian, and we were good friends. You don't always get that chemistry so lasts so long. So I'm very fortunate. Yeah.
You're born here in Ohio, like myself, and then of course you grew up out there. It's funny because I moved out there in '85. And I was there for 30 years, and people said, "Oh, California." I said, "Man, it's a great quality of life. When you get up and see the sun 300 plus days of the year, no rain, no clouds, no humidity, no humidity. That's the key. That's the difference. It's a beautiful. But I said, but that sun ain't for free. You pay for that sun. That sun comes, not water, that ocean, right? But it's okay.
Yep.
Hey, that's part of the deal. But man, I loved it. I loved it. And you grew up there, and of course you growing up in the '60s. There, it changed. Obviously, I'm sure it changed by leaps and bounds. But when I moved there in the '80s to when you grew up there in the '60s, I used to go to Hawthorne. I go down because my kids we grew up. They went to high school in Santa Monica. We grew up. They grew up in Santa Monica.
Huh? That was our arch rival.
Yes, exactly. We used to go down for basketball and football games, and my kids playing soccer tournaments. And man, you just drive down that coast and you go, man, I get it.
But you know what? I kind of miss the freshwater lakes.
Yeah,
we don't have a lot of fresh water.
No.
We got the whole ocean, of course, which is a whole other thing. But something about a freshwater lake that I just like the smell of it. It smells like, I don't know, like home.
I get it.
Back in Ohio.
But so growing up there in the '60s, you read, people don't understand when they see the TV shows of that era, growing up. I said, but that's what it was. It was that sunshine, blue skies, and it was a very Pollyanna life out there. Am I wrong?
Yeah, for sure. But it's pretty expensive to live in California now.
Yes, that's for sure.
We're like a country. We have our own little country out here, and it's pretty complicated. But the music keeps it really beautiful. We sing about the beautiful, ocean and everything else, and the lifestyle. It's an entirely different lifestyle. But you know what? You got to appreciate the other states as well.
No, of
course. Like in the song "California Girls."
Yeah.
Wish they all could be California girls. They're from all over the world.
It's one thing your vocals are just off the hook. Your songwriting ability is off the hook. But everybody talks about you as a musician. Anything that is an instrument can be thrown Al Jardine's way, and he can play it. Is that true?
No. That's funny. Well, I'm a jack of all trades. Is that the right word? I can play a little bit of everything, sure, and we all can. But my most important instrument is my voice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And Brian would attest to that. He always said, "Listen to the voices. Listen to the voices." And I always thought, well, it's kind of true because each one of us in the band were an instrument. We're Brian's instruments, and we covered the whole lot of notes together.
Oh my goodness! Yes,
his amazing arrangements made it even easier. So we were so lucky to be able to hang together and create that music.
Well, Al, let me ask you, how did you guys realize that Brian should be the lead singer, lead voice?
He was a lead voice. Yeah. He was that high tenor, that beautiful high tenor that really carried the melodies. And then, of course, Mike and I were singing leads, and Carl,
right,
lead vocals. But Brian had that classic. He had it all. He could do it all. He just had these great arrangements that we all enjoyed singing. Every one of them were to me were gems, hidden gems.
Now, would you guys be considered what they call 4-part harmony? Even though there's 5 of you, but would you guys be considered that 4? You always hear about bands of 4-part harmony, and it's not many of them. There's not a lot of them, but you guys were one of them, correct?
We were like really 5-part harmony.
Well, that's to say you're 5 of you, right? You're 5 of you guys, right?
At first we were just like 3-part, and then we graduated into 4-part, and then when Pet Sounds came around, we needed 5 voices. More or less, because Bruce Johnston joined us sometime around that period.
That's right.
And so we had a 5th voice. So it took a lot of work. Pet Sounds took about 6 months to make. It was a masterpiece.
Mm-hmm. How do you keep that voice so pure for so many years? You know, it's not like you've only been singing for like a couple of months. You've been keeping that voice intact for a long, long time. There's got to be something special you do for it.
Not really.
Wow.
As a matter of fact, I don't quite understand it myself. I remember having a conversation with Steve Miller.
Mm-hmm.
Steve Miller gave us vocal exercises, and Carl Wilson just loved these. They were like opera. and Carl would constantly be doing these vocal warm-ups and driving everybody crazy on the bus, or wherever we were. And I'm going, oh my, save it for the show, Carl. And I don't know, it just, I've never really done anything, but Steve often would laugh whenever I'd see him. Steve's on my solo album.
Yes.
In fact, he sang "Help Me Rhonda" on my solo album, and he chuckled. He laughed when he told me about this regimen he gave Carl because he does it himself, but he knew what a pain in the butt it was, so he thought it was pretty funny.
And you just wake up in the morning and your voice is just ready to go, man. That's really impressive, Al. Seriously.
No, it's not ready to go. It takes the whole darn day to warm up.
Yeah, okay. I gotcha.
Right about showtime, I feel fine.
Yeah.
But boy, I couldn't sing a darn note well, not a note, but you're registered. I think it changes as the day. You have different vocal cords for speaking too.
Yeah.
Sure.
And also for singing. So I think I got lucky on that one. But most of our songs are still in the same key. So
Yeah.
that helps. I mean, it doesn't help. What am I saying? That's a stretch.
Yeah.
But no, it takes a whole day to warm up.
It's Al Jardine and the Pet Sounds Band. It's August 15th. It's happening at the Robbins Theater. You can get your tickets exclusively at robbinstheater.com. Al, I asked Ray the same question. Do you hate being known as a legend?
In my own mind.
That's my answer. That's my answer. Al, that's my answer all the time. Oh, that's funny.
Boy, when I get home, I'm definitely no legend.
Yeah.
Everybody else.
Al, one of the things people ask me, but I would love for you to ask you. Of all the places, people would say, what was the favorite place to fight in, because there's so many great, but I was fortunate to fight at some of the great places like, Madison Square Garden, Caesar's Palace.
You know what? There's a place in Denver called Red Rock.
Oh, yes.
For some reason, that place has a vibe. It's a beautiful environment, these red, beautiful stone. It's carved out of a kind of a mountain.
Right.
And then the seats are all embedded in that, and it's really beautiful. I think a lot of people would say that's their favorite venue.
And I remember seeing you. I remember seeing you guys at the Hollywood Bowl in the late '80s, mid '80s. I moved out there in '85. Am I wrong? But I saw you at the Hollywood Bowl. I'm sure it was the Hollywood Bowl. I'm sure.
Well, that's okay. It's just I like the Greek theater a lot.
The Greek, the Greek. Yep. Okay, it might have been the Greek then. It was one of them. It was one of them. The outdoor. It was one of the outdoor theater. That's what I was trying to get to. It was the outdoor. They're both. You guys were great.
Yeah, we did it in '63. I remember with Jan and Dean, and it was great. That was one of our first big gigs. Big dates, the Hollywood Bowl, and we were still a quartet then, and playing our own instruments. Yeah. So it was kind of personal.
Again, you're a Hall of Famer. You're still out on the road. You're still doing with your new group, Pet Sounds. Again, August 15th at the Robbins Theater here in Warren, Ohio. You're getting one of the legendary singers of all time, member of one of the greatest bands of all time, and Al Jardine. Al, I can't thank you enough for coming on our show, man. It's truly, truly
thanks for having me.
Truly an honor. And people
be warmed up by the time I get around to your place. Okay.
Okay. Yeah, but you'll be here soon enough, and I hope to see you then, Al. Hope to see you then.
Okay.
You take care.
Thanks a lot, guys.
Take care.
Thank you so much, Al.
Founding member of the Beach Boys. Rock and Roll Hall of Fame inductee. Al Jardine and the Pet Sounds Band. August 15th at the Robbins Theater. Relive the magic of the Beach Boys.
Get tickets exclusively at robinstheater.com.
Al Jardine and the Pet Sounds Band. August 15th. The Robbins Theater.